Because I went in. I don't think VSR's. I'll check in the morning if he's up.
Well, what's his respawn?
Well, you have to kill VS.
And then 20.
So and then within 24 hours, his remains will spawn.
So within, not necessarily at 24.
Exactly, but VS is a normal 3-day spawn. And if they killed him today, then Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday will be the next time he might be up.
But that's his actual living version,
right?
Not the undead version.
Right, and then he gets killed, and then either Tuesday or Wednesday the remains will be up. I mean, I could always probably just drop the guild I'm in and join a better guild.
Just make sure you have your resurrection spell on you.
Yep, I do. I always carry it. Make sure of that.
I don't know. The guild that we were with earlier tonight seemed like a good bunch of guys, and
yeah, someone was trying to invite me to it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Not interested at the moment.
Well, I didn't say that. I was just like, yeah, I've been thinking about it. I'll let you know. Like, I was just...
Right, just not the right time.
Yeah. See, the thing is, if I could get another druid to go with me, we could just split it because he drops 2 stones.
What do you mean get another druid to go with you?
Because the remains drop 2 pulsing green stones.
Yeah, but I
mean, we'd still have to pay though. Never mind. What am I thinking?
Yep, and I still need one for my druid.
One for my druid.
That's the only piece I need for my epic though. At that point, like that's it.
I mean, it sounds like we need to freaking kill that guy a few times then.
Yeah, you gotta kill him a bunch.
I know Shrieky has done him quite a few times. He didn't seem like he was that concerned, and he usually is really concerned about things that are tough, so
yeah,
he sounds like that one's kind of doable for us if we got the right people.
It is. I've watched people kill him before. Like the regular guy, yeah, he's pretty tough, but the remains dude, I've seen him get dropped a couple times with less people, so it's not too bad.
Is it the same strat?
Pretty much, but I think he has less hit points or something like that. And he doesn't cast as much, I think. That's what I was looking up right now.
Because the think you need to ruin people as hard as you do when he's alive. When he's alive, you have to do it more, and when he's dead, I think you just turn him away, and I think it's just a cone for his damage.
Yeah, I've done it on Mangler.
Yeah, but Mangler's a little easier, right? When it comes to like pets, and they're a little bit more OP. Or at least they seem to be when I was playing with my mage.
We gotta wait a while. Bard is gotta do track, and that's gonna suck.
Pop. Goes the weasel.
Oh, I'm missing the spell Spirit of Warding.
Fail, dude. You fail. I'm kidding.
Well, I was in Payneal and had no access.
Yeah, I guess the remains doesn't cast like a life tap spell like the other guy does and stuff like that. 100% magic resistance. Immune. summons, immunes to flee, unfearable, and seasons it.
What's that VS?
Yeah, remains, that is. And he's a 50 to 51 warrior. According to the wiki. Waki.
He's a cakewalk.
That's what I hear. He's not so bad.
Well, when you get that strategy down, it kind of surprises me though, like who came up with that strategy in the first place, right? To ruin the tanks, like that's not something normal that you tend to do very often. It's expensive.
Yeah.
So, Vixen, how you doing? Thank you so much for the raid. Those guys that are just joining us, welcome to the stream. We are doing a 40-hour stream for the Guinness Book of World Record. The longest, oh my god, let me get the title up so I get this right. The longest video game marathon of an MMORPG. I should know this by now because I've been saying it for the last 40 hours, but my brain is so fried, I don't know what I'm saying half the time. So, we have beat the record, and now we are trying to set it at 40 hours, which really is not that big when it comes to MMOs, but 32 hours was just pathetic. So hopefully this will encourage other people to maybe try it themselves, get a bigger record, get those numbers up to something a little bit more respectable, right? There was a D&D record I was looking at that was 203 hours for one of the longest Dungeons and Dragons sessions.
That's a long fucking time.
That is a long time. I don't know what, like, did they have people, like, multiple people that were kind of phasing in and out? Did they actually take breaks to sleep when their characters slept? Like, how did all that work? But I would love to go back and, like, actually watch the video or listen to the stream of that one, dude.
A 213-hour Dungeons and Dragons session, that'd just be ridiculous.
Oh, it'd be epic. Like, so ridiculous, but epic in every way.
I mean, normally, like, you play from anywhere from 2 to maybe 8 hours.
Yeah, most of the time.
Most of the time. At least that's what I used to do. Like, let's see.
Well, we do it every other Tuesday, and it's just a group of guys that kind of hang out for like 2.5 hours.
Yep.
As far as the DM goes, that's what I do when these guys get together on the Tuesdays. You would have to have help. You'd have to have multiple DMs taking turns while one slept or came up with new ideas. It all had to be mapped out ahead of time because there's no way you'd be able to do that on the fly.
Grats.
Oh, yeah. Grats to level 17, man. But yeah, there's some crazy ones out there. There was a first-person shooter somebody played for like 132 hours straight. I ain't doing that. 40 hours, I think we can do. We're at 36 hours and 8 minutes in. I got another, less than 4 hours to go. We got this. But how did your stream go, Vixen? If you're still there, what were you up to?
I'm falling asleep.
Yeah, these guys have been phenomenal. They've actually been staying awake with me in shifts to keep me going. Great bunch of dudes, man. I wouldn't be able to do it without them, so that record belongs to them as much as it belongs to me.
I mean, I've only been on since, what? I think I got on 11.
Yeah, but you were on yesterday, and like Chupa took like a 5-hour nap, and then he was back. And he said he's like, oh, I can't sleep, but yeah, you can't sleep, and then you came in here to keep me awake, so okay, I appreciate it.
Yeah. I mean, I've only been on for about 14 hours today.
How long so far? 36 hours and 9 minutes. Or you could do the little uptime command, and it will let you know. And it's crazy because I'll probably never see that again, which is good. I don't think I should ever do an uptime and see 1 day. You know, an hour and 47 minutes, 3 hours. Okay, that's pushing it, right? But 1 day is actually coming back on that one. It's a bit much. And the crazy part about it is I've been talking nearly the entire time, so my voice, my throat, it's not doing too hot right now.
Get one of those hard candies.
Yeah, see, I didn't want anything sweet, though.
Get the holes.
I might actually grab some of that later. Like I said, I got less than 4 hours to go. I think we can finish it up. So you're over on Ariadune. We were just talking to Crixon about that. You're over on that server, right?
Yes, I am.
What do you think about it so far, man? I know they came out with the new TLPs. I think Ariadune is the one where you can't have more than 2 boxes, right?
No, it is the True Box server.
So you can have as many boxes as you want, but they have to be on individual PCs.
No, you can only have 2.
PCs max of 2.
Oh, okay, so True Box with a max of 2.
As long as multi-bog, you can have as many as you want in there.
And you guys had like a dedicated GM staff for the first month or so. Did that get extended further?
I have no clue, but I would like to think so, seeing how Canard just popped off, and people are probably gonna try and come back and farm up the big items again.
Did you play on any of the other TLPs like Mangler? Like for me, that's where a lot of us kind of went to go try that last TLP.
I have been on all of them.
What would you say would be the biggest difference between Mangler and this one? Which I guess is like the closest to... Well, they're trying to stop people from 6-boxing and doing the bot camps and kind of ticking people off who don't want to have any, you know, interaction with that kind of player base.
I'm happier with the way Airden has it set up personally, because the social interaction comes back.
Wrong button. That thing ran straight for my face.
Killed it in like 1 hit, though.
I didn't even mean to.
So you're saying the social interaction comes back because there's less bots?
Yeah. And it's less of like a single person playing a camp by himself.
I'm taking it as a pet. We might have
Gnome.
a gnome just ran by us. I don't know if he's gonna train us or not.
Yeah, I can't move at the moment, so root it.
Oh, I think we're okay. I don't see anything.
So have you seen any like multi-boxing besides just the 2?
Yeah, and I have, when Airden first started, I saw a couple and reported, and then they eventually disappeared.
Bye.
So people thought they could kind of get away with it, that it wasn't going to be enforced, and I guess they found out the hard way that that's not exactly how it was going to work over there.
Yeah, well, I think it was just a thing with good old Daddy Daybreak where they say something and people are just like, yeah, they're not going to do it. They're not going to follow through. They're not going to follow through. And then
Watch out behind you guys. There's a...
actually followed through with something and we're banning people that were multi-boxing.
There's a high-level ghoul behind us.
Well, and they also made it where when you change picks, you start at the entrance.
Yes, thank God.
Right? Because one of the biggest, you know, kind of pet peeves for me was when we were in Soul B and we had just gotten to the Golden Fruity room, and you know, a lot of us have great memories of that area, and those boots are so valuable during that era. But then you have a bot army of necromancers who come in and just take your camp away from you immediately, and it's just sucks, you know, like you go to the next pick and nobody's there, and the camp's clear, so you kind of stake, you put your stake down and, you know, say this is where we're going to be, start pooling, and then that same bot army comes in and takes this one away, so it's very cool that they're slowly making changes to kind of distance themselves from that.
Well, I mean, that's how the Chrono Farmers would do all those things, is buy constantly. Gibbs was a big item. Any of your big hotspot items, yeah, they would just go pick, and just kill it and take it, and then just sell it.
Yeah. Storm, we are on P99. We're just talking about some of the TLPs. A lot of us have played over there. A lot of us have tunes that are still on those servers, and just kind of curious as to, you know, what the makeup is on the brand new ones.
Well, a few of us did start on Aerodune, but kind of fell off.
Made a couple tunes on. I did like two boxes on there.
Seemed like Nano liked it too. Like you guys were playing with him too, right?
Yeah, him and Shrieky.
I kind of left everyone in the dust.
Yeah, I don't know what specifically stopped them. I don't know if it was just the fact that they had to start new tunes for like the 20th time, because that could be kind of frustrating.
Yeah, I did 1 to 50 on the Bard in like 4 days. So.
Wow, that's really fast.
That's also no lifing it and very little sleep.
But that was with you, what, quad quieting like an entire zone? Do they have the limit over there that we have over here of 25, or is it just as many as you want?
No, it's limited over there. Plus, dots don't tick unless they're not moving, I believe is what it is.
Oh, so it's even harder.
Or they take half the damage. Yeah, you don't quarter it, or you don't swarm on live. It was just group to group, just bouncing constantly. And I mean, at like 34, I think, 32 or 34, when bards get their first mana song, I mean, they're wanted in every group, so it really made it easy.
I think you guys get one in Kunark or Luckland at a lower level, but yeah, definitely have to get to that expansion first.
Yeah.
Velas is 22.
First one before Kunark is 32.
Yeah, 32 for Classic. Next one after that is in Velas, and that's like 22. 20 or 22.
Yeah, Storm, that came from Chupa when we hit our mark of 32 hours and 36 minutes, which was what the previous score was. He gave out a whole bunch of subs to celebrate it, and it was very, very cool of him, so definitely appreciate that. Let's see, alright, I'm hosting you, and I tweeted your stream to try to get you some more people that will keep you awake and reach your goal. I think it's really cool what you were doing. Have a good night. Thank you, man. That is incredibly kind of you. I appreciate all that. Hopefully it will bring more light to EQ in general. While we may play over here on P99, it is ultimately the same game, just in a different form, and I would love to see EQ get a little bit more respect, a little bit more love in the end. When I signed up to do this on the Guinness Book of World Records, they had examples of games that fit into the MMO genre, and EQ was not among them. World of Warcraft, Dark Ages of Camelot, Elder Scrolls Online, things of that sort. Was strange, considering EverQuest was kind of the grandfather of all that, right? At least in the like three-dimensional category, right? I know there was Ultima Online and there was Meridian 59. And then World of Warcraft got into the Video Game Hall of Fame. Why EverQuest has still yet to be recognized in that category. So, you know, it's just kind of, it's very strange. I wish more people could understand where this genre kind of came from and the possibilities of what it could be if you don't make every single MMO out there the same.
He likes me. We're gonna be friends.
You Rudy.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with WoW. In fact, we played over on vanilla classic servers when they first came out, and we had a blast. Thoom's still over there playing.
Can I get a breeze, please?
I don't think it needs to be a competition between WoW and EverQuest, one being better than the other.
Yeah.
The people who created WoW have talked about their inspiration they got from EQ. I think there's room for both, and I think they're both ultimately enjoyable in their own way. But EQ just never gets any recognition these days, so I think that's would be kind of cool to see that change.
For 10% more freaking level again, and then I'm bouncing.
You need 10% more?
Yep, I'm at 90. It's going pretty quick.
Yeah, well, we gotta probably wait for the next repops, but... Yeah, both these games have been going for a long time. World of Warcraft came out in, what, 2003? Or 2002? 4?
2004.
Dark Ages of Camelot was kind of around for a little while, but that one's kind of fallen by the wayside. The number of MMOs that have survived for more than like 5 to 10 years, super small. Really, really small. So, kind of a special thing.
You know, people in my work ask, what kind of games do you play? I'm like, EverQuest?
What kind of game is it?
Like, oh, they tell them, and they're like, how old is it? I'm like, 99?
Yeah, but it still looks really good. Maybe not to everybody. I post videos of this game, and some people were like, man, I could never play a game that looks that old. I don't see it. Like, I play Minecraft, and the graphics on Minecraft are not phenomenal. They have their own kind of art style to it.
That's all it
You
is.
have to remember with like the art style of EverQuest, this is what we grew up with. This is what started most people off with MMOs. So we're kind of used to the graphics because that's what we stared at for hours and hours.
I mean, I started off with MUDs, so having graphics of any kind was a step in the right direction rather than just text-based. And then eventually to like still frames, ones that you could kind of like go up into a room and get a little picture of it if you were lucky, like Simon the Sorcerer or Sorcerer 101 or Leather Goddesses of Phobos, and then have like a page or a paragraph of a description of what you were looking at, and then try to figure out exactly what the developer or programmer wanted you to do and how to phrase it, because that really took a lot of time for you to just realize the speech patterns that the guy had, or the person who programmed the commands wanted you to say things in a certain order, instead of like run down the hall or open the door. You needed to say, lift the panel or push the door. It's very strange, like the little tiny details that really screwed you up and made you sit there for hours trying to figure it out. But once you got it, it was beautiful. It was a story that was unfolding before you.
Then we got graphics.
And then we got graphics. To some extent, I mean, somebody just mentioned Zork. Zork was amazing, but if you go back and look at those graphics, they are so pixelated. They're so small and then like blown up onto your monitor that I'm surprised that I was able to imagine as much as I did within those grainy pictures, but I did, and I loved it. Look forward to it every single time they came out with another one. Companions of Xanth. I mean, that was one of my all-time favorites back then. Monkey Island. I mean, some great games. Oh man, I hear a lot of moms running around. They might be coming from upstairs.
Oh my god, they are.
Chords.
Oh, look at him. He's so nice.
Is that Cypher?
Yes, it is Cypher.
Cypher power leveling us?
I have no idea what Cypher's doing.
Should we attack it?
I don't know. What is he doing?
Knock it out.
Let me sit him a tell, because I don't want to jump in.
Like, what are you doing? Oh, is he joining?
Yeah, I think he just joined.
What are you doing, Cyber? You killing us?
He's muted at the moment. Yeah, I was sending you a tell saying, should we attack it? What's going on?
What are we
You
doing?
can hit them if you want to.
Are
You're
we,
good.
are we going to be able to kill these?
I mean, am I gonna pull aggro if I hit him?
I think he's getting aggro. I don't think there's any way I'm going to pull aggro. I just don't know how hard I'm going to be able to hit these
Yeah,
things.
there's no chance you will pull aggro off of me.
Are you going to be able to survive it?
And just throw him.
Dude, these things can't even hit me.
Yeah, I clicked on him. He's not taking any damage.
Oh,
Yeah, he's
okay.
not taking any. I'm watching him right now, just in case.
Because Flip tried this earlier, and he was just getting his face wrecked.
He didn't have level 54 snare slow.
That's true, he did not. I think the first game I ever played on PC was Lemmings. Oh, God, dude. Such a great game. I played it on the Nintendo, I think. Always went back. What's that? You have it on your phone?
Lemmings on my phone. Yeah.
It'd be hard to play on a small screen like that, but part of the enjoyment of that game was trying not to pause it. I know later versions, they had the pause button. You could plan things out. But I always liked trying to get my guys to plant, like, the scaffolding or the bridge as it got all the way to the end, so there wouldn't be, like, any crooked parts. Because sometimes if you miss that little connection in between, they, like, jump up a level, and now there'd be a gap. And anybody who came after that would immediately fall down off of that bridge.
What mob is everyone on?
I'm on the Dry Bones.
I got a couple resist, but they should all be hit. Minus maybe the hag.
A game that haunted me from childhood was the extremely strange air hockey game on all Macs. See, I never could get into the Macs. They gave them to the schools back in the day. Gave them to the classes that would then teach the kids. The one part of that system that really just kind of rubbed me the wrong way was when you had to drag your 3.5 into the trash can to get it to eject. Like, I didn't feel comfortable with that. Throwing my disc into the trash to me meant I was destroying it. But that was how you eject. They didn't have an eject button. Like, who doesn't design an eject button? But other than that, kind of a cool computer, I guess. I never really used it. My brother was the computer guy, and he had a PC, and just he got me hooked on it, man. Got to play around with it more than probably most kids my age, and got to experiment with a little bit of programming here and there. He used to get these books in for the Commodore 64 that he had, and it would be a book of just coding, and you'd copy it from start to finish, and if you didn't make any mistakes, you got a program out of it. Now, you couldn't copy that program or save that program. It was a one-time use. When you turn your PC off, you're going to lose it, and you'd have to start over from scratch. But I was so proud when I actually got it to work, and I had a Hangman game on there. I don't know how many of you guys actually got to play around with that, but
Everything being resisting all my shit.
even the Apple hated buttons. There was also a lot of strange software discs back in the day. I remember having one that had 50 or so games. Yeah, anytime you bought a new PC, you would get sometimes a stack of discs. Like a thesaurus, you might get some kind of thing like exploring the body and the biology. Serious Sam, I think, was the one they would give you when you bought some sort of like upgraded hardware for your graphics card, even though graphics cards really weren't as popular back then as they are now. When you bought a dedicated sound card, Sound Blaster, if you guys remember that, you would get some sort of like musical program to show it off. So bad, but I loved it, dude. We were playing around with those and just seeing what they had to offer. They were all garbage, but they were your garbage. Chessmaster 3000, yeah, dude. They always had something like that in there. Mavis begin teaches typing. I learned how to type playing EverQuest. As weird as that might sound. A lot of these like hot buttons and stuff that you can create to let people know that you know, mob is incoming. You didn't have that ability. Like you had to type it out while you were running. So trying to do the whole like one-click finger thing was not going to work. You had to figure out where the keys were and do it without even looking in the dark most of the time. So it was fun. They did it in a challenging and exciting way, and it didn't really feel like a class. It just felt like me spending time relaxing and doing something out of school. Blizzard Games had great sound card test in the 90s. How many of you guys played the old Blizzard games as far as like the RTSs? You know, Warcraft as a 1 and 2. I think they even had an expansion to the 2, like Dark Tides Rising or something along those lines. Love
Reigns
the
of Chaos.
What was it again?
Reigns of Chaos.
Reigns of Chaos. Okay. I didn't like the third one. I really didn't like the hero, but that's what World of Warcraft is based off of. A lot of people like that one, and they kind of kept that you know, mechanic alive. But I miss the old give me an army of really sometimes foolish creatures, peons that you'd have to literally drag by the nose to get them to go around bushes and trees and not get stuck places because, well, their AI just couldn't handle it, but also because they're a peon. They're like the stupidest unit you're gonna get, so they required a little extra hands-on. Yes, my lord. Have you clicked on him too much? Did you do that? Stop clicking on me. Diablo 1 and 2, phenomenal games.
We need to do a stream of Diablo 1.
We actually got a whole bunch of those for Good Old Games. I know Shariki has one. I got one. I think a few of the other guys have one, and you can go on there and play. That BattleNet, it's not really supported anymore if you have like the disc from back then, but if you go to Good Old Games and you download it from there, the BattleNet's actually working, so you can do multiplayer with your friends again. And I agree with you, man. That would be a lot of fun to play that.
Who remembers how to do? Because I do.
I have Diablo 1.
Yeah, Diablo 1. Diablo 2, I think, was a little bit better in the sense that it was a little bit bigger, a little bit more open on where you could go. And then they came out with Diablo 3. Not a huge fan of that one. I think they took the grinding to another level, and why anybody who plays MMOs will realize grinding is and can be quite fun. That part of the grinding in Diablo 3 wasn't fun to me personally, so never really got too deep into that one. Tried a few seasons here and there. StarCraft was amazing. StarCraft was great. Command & Conquer series, Dune. I don't know how many of you guys played the RTS for Dune. They even came out with a Dune 2000, I think is what it was called, that came later.
Yeah, I played.
And well, I didn't really play StarCraft. I love playing StarCraft 2.
So StarCraft 2, the co-op is really good.
Uh-oh.
Oh shit, that's not us, right?
No, but
That's
the
gotta be-
guy totally just dragged it all down here. I don't know. He ran the other way.
That might be coming back for us, so I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
That's going downstairs.
He's
It's
going
okay.
downstairs. Yeah, I was gonna say he didn't drag it to the left.
Love the atmosphere of Diablo 1. D3 were on the Loot 2.0 and beyond. See, now I tried it when it first came out. I tried it when they opened it up so that people could try the demo for free, and then if you liked it, which I went ahead and bought it straight up because I love Diablo 1, love Diablo 2, could not imagine not liking Diablo 3, so I just went ahead and bought it and got full access to it, and like I said, I only played it for like a month and I never went back to it.
Oh,
There we go.
look who it is.
Your
What's
mage
up?
pet was saved by the bard.
Oh, nice.
I hear Diablo 4 is supposed to be going back to the Diablo 1 style atmosphere. That would be kind of cool. I like that whole storyline And the cutscenes in those original games were both frightening and compelling. Like, you wanted to know what happened to that character. You wanted to, as disturbing as his journey was and what he was doing and where he was going, you wanted to go with him. But I didn't get that out of the Diablo 3. I did play that one with a friend the very first time around, and he had already played the game all the way through, so we rushed through a lot of it, just going through and getting high levels. And I think that might have jaded me a little bit on the storyline, just not being able to stop and listen, explore every inch, and see the game for what it actually could have been.
Stay a while and listen.
Right?
Can somebody tell me why AC is monologuing?
I am talking to the stream.
Are you the villain?
I'm talking to the stream here. What's up,
Whatever.
dude?
That was a villain monologue if I've ever heard one. What's up, buddy?
So we're talking about old games, man. What's your favorite old game? Is it Zork? Is it Companions of Xanth? Or
Probably, I would have to probably go so far and to say Doom, the original Doom. I'm talking about 1 and 2. I spent a lot of hours at LAN parties with friends and stuff like that, playing Doom and Unreal Tournament and stuff like that. But there was a lot of Doom. Another old one, Metroid at the time, the original Metroid on 8-bit Nintendo captured my interest for weeks. I played it, I beat it in like maybe, I think it was a 2-week period I played it. And then I played it and beat it again, and I played it and beat it again. So I really loved Metroid when it first came out. If we want to go back even further, Pitfall on the Atari, I always had a sweet spot for that.
did you beat that one?
And Pong.
Was that beatable?
I don't know. I don't think you could beat Pitfall. I think it just kept going, man.
It was just like screen after screen after screen, almost like
Yeah,
Pac-Man, where the game
yeah.
was just kind of almost self-destruct when you got to a certain stage.
Yeah, and the Scorpion always got my ass, dude. So there was no beating the Scorpion.
Scorpion or the alligators? Because the alligators seemed like they were always pretty tough too.
I got to where I could get past the alligators, no problem. It was
okay.
the Scorpion that always got me, but it was just his hip hop. Sometimes it would look like I completely made the jump and got over him, and he would still kill me. And so yeah, that would make me really angry. So that's probably the oldest. Then you've got Donkey Kong on the arcade. You've got Pac-Man. I was there when Street Fighter 1 released in the arcade. I was there when Mortal Kombat released in the arcade the first time. So those are really old games that I really love.
Did you line up?
So many.
Did you line up behind the crowd of people playing Street Fighter, especially Mortal Kombat? Mortal Kombat seemed like more of a social game. The Street
I used
Fighter
to take
game?
people's quarters. Yeah, I used to take people's quarters at both of those games. And on the original Street Fighter, you could play this character. You could play a ninja. You could actually play a ninja. He had throwing stars and stuff like that. And I used to take people's quarters. And the craziest story I have, I used to go to this rolling rink, the rolling rink down in Gastonia, and I would take people's quarters. Like every time I was there, I would line up that was Mortal Kombat. I would line up at I would queue at the Mortal Kombat. I would get in. I would play. I would destroy everybody, and I did that for months and months. Nobody could touch me. And finally, one day, this little 5, 6-year-old, he couldn't have been no more than 6 years old. He came up. He put his quarter up there. I laughed at him. I was like, "Kid, keep your quarter. I'm gonna wreck you." And he beat my ass up and down. He took $1 from me before I figured out that there was no way I was going to beat him, because he had Raiden's Umbawale move down where he flies across the screen.
Mm-hmm.
And there was nothing I could do about it, man. It actually taught me to love Raiden, though. So Raiden became one of my favorite characters because this kid just completely wiped my ass.
Oh man, they all had like their own special ability that if you used it just right, it felt like
it's almost unbeatable. Yeah, it was almost unbeatable. Yeah.
What was the name of that other one? Primal Rage? It was another fighter. Did you ever play that one?
No, I don't remember that one. I remember Tekken, though. I was really good at Tekken for a long time, too.
Tekken was like
before it passed me up.
the 3-dimensional one, right? Or the first, like...
Yeah, that's the one that came
Yeah,
out.
it was where you could go side to side. It wasn't just like side to side scrolling, but you could actually take a step back. Or to the
side,
3-dimensional
back,
angle.
forward.
Yeah. It was really cool.
That's the one with the lion guy, right?
Yeah, the guy with the lion head who was the wrestler.
Yeah.
He was one of my favorites, but my favorite was I think it was Jin. or something like that. The evil guy who turned into a demon at the end or something like that. I don't know. His kicks were cool. I liked his kicks.
So did they have finisher moves on that, or were they trying to copy Street Fighter, or not? Well, maybe not Street Fighter, but Mortal Kombat in a certain way?
I don't think they had fatalities or finisher moves. I don't think. Did they?
No, Tekken has never had anything like that. All about just stringing your combos together.
Street Fighter didn't have finishing moves either, right?
Street Fighter has the abilities, though, that Tekken does not. Tekken is straight up fighting. There's no abilities.
Yeah, I
Well,
mean,
that's about Tekken. There was just a beatdown. Yeah.
Street Fighter did have its bonus rounds, though, right? Where you had to like beat up a car, or take your rage out on a building or something like that. It was very strange. Like there's like beat this car up and get bonus
rounds. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember beating the shit out of that car. It was one of my favorite things to do.
Yeah, and it's just like, why am I beating a car up? Like, it makes no sense.
Because the car insulted your mother.
I mean, it did something, and it broke up in just beautiful parts so that I could enjoy.
Wasn't there like a brick break too? Like stacks of bricks and stuff like that you would break or something like that? I don't remember.
I think you might be right on that. It's been forever since I played the original.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. Long time ago.
I'm gonna have to get one of those.
I have what do I have? Steam. Hold on, let me look at it.
Tekken eventually had raid yards and stuff, which would be like the whatever bar they have in Street Fighter, but that came at later years, of course.
I have Ultimate Street Fighter 4 on Steam.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, I've always been a fan of Street Fighter since the beginning. I thought Street Fighter was the bee's knees.
Well, that was until they came out with the turbo controllers, where you could program the actual moves onto a button, so you could have. All you had to do was get it right once, right? So you'd sit there until you got it down perfect, memorize that key onto like the A button. Anytime you push the A button, it would do like Raiden's perfect move, or it would do. Oh man, what was Chun-Li? Chun-Li had her like lightning kick or something like that. Would stick you in a corner, you could never get out of it.
She would go upside down. She would turn upside down and she'd do the helicopter kick. Like, yeah.
Well, there was that really... one, but she also had that like this super fast kick where she stood on one leg and just kind of.
Yeah, and then
like the flurry of kicks.
You couldn't get out of it.
Guy's hand move. Yeah, the Yoda or Yokozuna or Yokozuna or whatever his name was, dude. Yeah, he had the hands. He would do the lightning quick hands.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which, they brought back that guy in. Oh man, what was it? Wreck-It Ralph. They brought Zangief, which to me was like the worst character in Street Fighter. They didn't bring back.
No, he was great, man. He had the reach. Oh no,
he didn't have reach. It was Zangief. Zangief was the big, like, muscular kind of.
Yeah, he was one of the bosses, dude. He was really hard to beat.
He was so slow. If you pick like the Indian dude, the ones with like the stretchy arms.
Yeah,
and he could fly across the screen. Like, that dude was so unbelievably hard to beat if you actually knew how to play him. But this big.
Yeah, but Zangief was a boss. Oh wait. Oh no, you're talking about the wrestler. You're talking about the Russian wrestler.
Yeah.
Zangief.
Yeah, he sucks.
Okay, yeah, he was a jump. Yeah.
Maybe he was good, but I never could get anywhere with him. And anybody who played him instantly died. So it's weird.
I thought you were talking about Sabat.
No.
You remember Sabat? Yeah, Sabat's the big guy with the shorts on and the eye patch, and who's like Muay Thai kickboxer or something like that.
His signature move is a tiger kick, which he basically jumps and knees in the air.
Was that the second Street Fighter or further?
Tiger kick. No, that was Street Fighter. It wasn't the original. I think it was Street Fighter 2 when he first came out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was recently added to the new Street Fighter, or the current Street Fighter game, DLC character-wise.
Just because you're a bad guy doesn't mean you're a bad guy. Yeah, again, it was probably just me. I can't say the character was just absolute garbage, but I could never do anything with that guy. There's so many other characters that just seems like way overpowered. But I love seeing him come back in the movie. Qbert was in that one, and a lot of good movies, a lot of good memories compared to like Pixel, which try to trade on like the idea of the whole video game culture, but I didn't feel like it had really any love for What's that?
Who was the guy with the mask and the Wolverine claws? Who was that?
Vega.
Vega was always he was the one character that I always wanted to. I was good with all the other characters, but Vega was the one character I always wanted to be good at, but was always a potato with.
Wasn't Vega the main bad guy?
No, that's Bison.
That's Bison. There you go.
Yeah, Bison was the main bad guy. Now I was great with Bison. I owned a lot of people with Bison, but I don't think you could pay him in the arcade. Maybe you could. It was either the Super Nintendo or something where you could play him. Yeah.
Street Fighter 2, there basically was a. Wait, no, I'm thinking of Akuma. You had to do a special combo.
Yeah, to get access to a certain character.
Yeah. No, Bison. I don't know. Maybe.
I don't remember him.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that. I think that on the original machines he was locked and you couldn't play him because he was the boss. But I believe that later editions of the machine you could play. I think
like Turbo or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. There were versions of the arcade, I believe, where you could play Bison. I know you could, like on the consoles.
So, I gotta say, my favorite fighting game would be Marvel vs. Capcom, like 2 and 3.
I have that on the arcade.
I never really played that. Did you guys ever play Samurai Showdown? The Neo Geo fighter?
Is that's the one where there's a little judge that like has flags in the background? I played that in the arcade so much as a kid, and I was so terrible at it.
Cool.
You know what? One was Soul Calibur.
Soul Calibur,
my brother played a lot of Soul Calibur. I especially enjoyed watching him play the one where he could play Link. And I know that they came out with Darth Vader. You could play Darth Vader.
Oh wait, no, that was the GameCube version.
That's Super Smash Brothers, isn't it?
No, they
no. This is
GameCube version of Soul Calibur 2, I believe.
Yeah,
it was in 3.
yeah. It was
later in the years. They did Spawn. You can play Spawn, or was that?
Well, that was the Xbox one. Link was the GameCube version, and I guess I can't remember what the other console was.
There was one of them that ended up getting I forget which game it was, but they pulled over like Darth Vader and stuff in.
That was a Soul Calibur, but it might have been like 3 or 4 or something.
So Doc says Link for
or it might have been on the PlayStation.
Link was for the GC. I'm probably gonna mispronounce his name. Hitachi for the PS and Spawn for the Xbox. And that guy was from Tekken 2.
Yeah, Hitachi was the old guy, the old man, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right.
Yeah.
I felt like the guy got screwed over on the deal. I mean, like, Link was a cool one, Spawn was a cool one, and then you got a fighter guy in a fighting game. I mean, like, I don't know, it's just play Tekken at that point.
Fun fact is M. Bison was originally named Balrag, and the character Balrag was originally named M. Bison as a reference to Tyson.
Balrog.
If you played the old Japanese version of the games, they're named that way.
If we're gonna talk about fighting games, we have to talk about one of the best, in my opinion, the cream of the crop, and that's Killer Instinct.
Oh.
Killer Instinct.
Yeah,
Killer Instinct was amazing, dude. Yeah, dude.
I will say I did like Killer Instinct 1 more than I liked the ones that came after that.
The one that came out like a few years ago was actually very well done.
What, how long ago? Was it like something new?
Yeah, it was like 4 years ago, maybe.
Oh shit, I haven't looked at that one.
Yeah,
I'll have to take a look at it.
It's on the Xbox, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, but not on the arcade?
Did you say Power Stone?
I was kind of kidding. Power Stone was a lot of fun though, but I don't want to call it.
I like Power Stone 2 for the
a minute.
I don't even think I've heard of Power Stone. What is Power Stone?
Dreamcast game.
Dreamcast.
Okay. My cousin had a Dreamcast.
It's kind of like a Smash like game, but top down.
Okay. All right.
For fighting game, for the Sega Saturn, Guardian Heroes. It was really good for a fighting game.
I don't think I've heard that one.
The Sega Saturn.
What made that one good?
I am out of here, guys.
What, Guardian Heroes?
And Curcio, have a good night, brother.
Yeah,
Later,
have a good night, man. Congrats
Later.
again on all the stuff, on your epic, on your loot. Definitely see you tomorrow.
Later, man.
Later, brother. It was a good night. Good day.
How many hours you got, AC?
We are coming up on the 37th hour. We have beat the world record for the longest stream for MMORPG. So we're going to try to get to 40. And since these guys have come back and have reinvigorated me with a topic that is something I hold close to my heart, old video games that I grew up playing, we will always make it to that marker, I think. So
Very nice.
hell yeah.
Yeah,
Eternal
things just-
Championships or Champions? Did you guys play that one? Eternal Champions?
I don't think so. I don't think I played Internal.
I don't think I even
describe
heard
it
of
to
it.
me.
Yeah, I don't think I heard of that one either. I'm gonna look this one up real quick because a lot of people are saying it's pretty good. I grew up playing like the old arcade. I don't know if you guys remember it, Karate with the red guy and the white guy.
Yeah, karate. Yeah,
Right? And they walk up and they're like choo 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 choo, like, and I'm like,
I
this
played
is
it.
so,
Yeah.
so
Okay,
lame, but I loved it.
I struggled with that game as a kid because I just kept running into him and instantly dying. I never really learned that you had to press down to get into a fighting stance.
Yeah, or
Yeah, the
and kind of
controls
let
were
them
Halo,
come to
dude. The
you a
controls
little
were
bit.
Very, yeah. They were not very intuitive. The controls on that game were not intuitive at all,
So Eternal
in my
Champions.
opinion.
I figure when you stop running, you'll get in a fighting stance, but that was not the case.
And then they had one that was also kind of unique. It sucked as a fighting game, but it was really cool. It was this white Laserdisc player console that, when it was flipped upside down on the TV and reflected off of a mirror, used like a Halo, or not a Halo, oh man, what do they call those things? The you can wipe your hand through it. It's not really there, but you can see the graphic come up.
So that's a hologram that's using
hologram.
Pepper's Ghost kind of
Yeah.
style.
And they'd have like these little weird pieces of like blocks behind them, little triangles and squares and stuff like that. And you'd fight these guys down there. Looks so realistic for the time. Now you probably go back and look at it and be, not impressed at all. But
if they're using hologram techniques like that, it still would be impressive.
it was to me, and it probably would still be for me when I went back and looked at it, because you don't have something like that to this day unless you're using like VR. And VR is absolutely amazing, guys. If you haven't tried it yet, find somebody who has it if you can't afford it, because it's going to blow you away.
What blows my mind is AR. Have you used anything like the Microsoft HoloLens at all?
I mean, what is that? Is that a VR headset or?
It's AR, augmented reality, not virtual. So virtual, basically, you put a mask on, everything's blacked out. When it boots up, like whenever you load your game, you're in a separate world altogether.
Right.
When you think about augmented reality, it takes your surroundings and builds off of it. It utilizes it. So
like Google Glasses, when they first introduced those, where you could see through it, but then it would put like movies.
Yeah,
or whatever else
that
you
thing
want.
was painful to use. That was awkward.
Yeah, but I mean, when they showed what it was supposed to be, like I think that's what you're talking about, right? The augmented reality.
And so this is like a visor. It basically had a tinted visor in front of your face. And what was really interesting, one of the games, which was like robots start bursting out of your walls. So you're standing in your room. There's no tether or anything like that. You look around, and all of a sudden, like, you start seeing like these little cracks on your wall, and then robots like bursting out, and you got to shoot them. And so as you're shooting them, and as they're bursting out, you can start seeing these studs inside the wall.
Right.
I mean, obviously, this is all fake, but the fact that it's rendering
in real time
materials, it's rendering materials on your wall, and because it's displaying on it, it looks like, hey, there's a hole in your wall, and there's like the little stud that's right there.
If you trick your eyes, your brain will believe it. That's what the whole VR thing is all about.
It was really weird to kind of have that, but I mean, a lot of the augmented reality stuff is
it's too new. It's too in its infancy. I think is where it's at right now.
It's the thing is, it's more commercial purposes. I mean, everything past that, outside of that, is basically just gimmicky fun. One of the cool ideas I was playing around with, and I did a quick mock-up with it, was someone was asking, like, well, what if you do a tabletop game? So opposed to spending like thousands of dollars, hundreds of dollars on the models, or the having to lug all that stuff around, or the fact that you'd be able to play people virtually. And so basically you could have a table projected, and you'd be able to walk around it and see and move the pieces and all that sort of stuff.
Well, I mean, have you watched any of the, like, I'm big into anime, so I don't know how much you've actually watched of like Sword Art Online.
Yeah.
So they had a season where they talk pretty much what you're talking about, the augmented reality, and they're able to wear these glasses and see these giant battles, RPG battles take place on the street, and all these people will come together to fight these monsters and gain loot, and it's crazy to think like that could actually happen, but it kind of is, right? Because you got people going out there and getting like Pokemon fights and like all this crazy stuff. It is low level, but eventually, right, you can see it going that way.
Which SAO are you talking about?
That was the movie.
It wasn't was it the new movie?
Okay, I haven't seen that one, but
it wasn't the TV show. The first two had nothing to do with that.
It was the movie that came out.
I'll tell you when I'm going to get excited about playing virtual reality. When I'm going to get excited about playing virtual reality is when they plug stuff directly into your cerebral cortex. Then I'll be excited about playing virtual reality.
Yeah, I don't want anything plugged into my brain.
Yeah, they're going to plug it into your brain, and they're going to shoot the images directly into your brain case.
Have you seen the footage?
You'll be inside the simulation, dude.
That's
you'll
like
be inside
50 years away, my guess.
Yeah, or maybe
probably
more,
I'd say more than that. No, hold on now. Elon Musk has got the things he's putting in pigs' heads, dude. He's got the chips.
Isn't he going up into space? He has his hands full, man. He has too many fingers in different pies. He needs to concentrate.
He's putting chips in pigs' brains that are making them live their best lives.
Have you seen the footage for Alice, which was the last VR game that came out? This AAA title, right? There's not a lot of AAA titles for VR, and this one just was phenomenal, right?
Oh, the Half-Life one?
Yeah, so cool looking. And anybody who's ever seen footage of that on a computer, I can tell you right now, what you're seeing on the computer pales in comparison to what it actually is when you put it on. It's not like the old VR like I used to try when I was back.
Dude, I had Nintendo's Virtual Game Boy, dude. Or virtual boy. Or what? Yeah.
Oh, dude.
I had that shit, and it was potato.
How did you like the red spectrum, dude? Did you love that?
Oh, dude, it was.
Are your
eyes
still hurting from using it 30 years ago?
How about that stupid little robot?
Dude, I love that. I love that robot. Don't call him stupid. He was badass.
He was supposed to get your remote and bring it back to you.
All he would do is pick stuff up like discs and stuff like that and hand them to me.
Yeah.
That's all he would do. He was like, yeah.
Hey, you could always use your power glove and punch him in the face because that power glove is a piece of... Who thought having like a glove with the controller on it was like a good move? Like using it like it's not fun. It's not great.
It's a gimmick.
It is a gimmick.
They were going for the cool factor.
And the thing is, though, that's fun. As a kid, that is fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
Okay. Think about it this way. I mean, when you could play the like Mario Kart with the Wii with motion controls.
Now you can, but back then it didn't work that way.
I know, but hear me out. Like it's absolutely garbage and terrible. And why would you do that other than just a gimmicky funness to it?
Right.
Look at how many movies it was actually in, though. It was
The Wiz was in.
It was high tech at that point.
It's in a lot of movies.
I will say there was one game, I think it was a Predator game, that if you jammed all the buttons down on the power glove, it zapped you to the last level. And that was the only thing that me and my friend could ever find that thing was useful for. Other than, like you could be like, oh, it looks cool.
It's the sensors were god awful.
Oh, dude, everything about that thing is just really, really bad.
The gun, too. The gun was, either good. The sensors in the gun were, like, for Duck Hunt, were either really good or they were really bad.
Oh, man. My experience with the gun was amazing. Duck Hunt, like, if you line up your sights, like, that thing was pretty damn accurate.
But those are with, like, the old CRT monitors. You can't get that kind of sensors to go off on those screens anymore. Like, I have a whole bunch of arcades, and trying to find CRT monitors that I can use in, like, my Area 51 or things of that sort, they're hard, dude. They don't make them anymore. That's an outdated technology that...
Why? But is it the refresh rate that's the issue?
It's a completely different technology.
Like, why?
It's a completely different technology. It uses these like sensors within the actual... I have no idea how it actually works. But...
For one frame, it flips to... a set image, and then basically it takes a picture of that little image is what your gun is doing.
But you can't do that.
That's why if you hold it up, if you hold it up to a
incompatible.
light bulb, you could. Why though?
I mean, you could do some research to find out. It sounds like you know a little bit more about electronics than I do. I can just tell you that They are 100% incompatible. They do not work together.
Because you could hold it up to an incandescent light bulb and shoot that and actually hit your targets for whatever reason, too.
Yeah, I'm just telling you, it does not work together, which I wish they did because they're a lot more accurate than these little sensor bars.
I've heard this before, too. Yeah.
Which they make, and they're getting a little bit better. Nintendo had the little sensor bar. You could buy, like if you create a MAME arcade, you can buy these little sensor bars to help you with that, but CRT monitors, they had their pluses, and they definitely had a lot of minuses. Freaking huge, heavy, so heavy, hard to fix, hard to maintain, use so much electricity.
They were easier to fix.
I don't know. The ones that I have had to fix and go into the back and mess with the neck and check to make sure that I'm getting a glow and, you know, replace some of the caps. There's a lot of work tracking down where a bug is.
But I mean, with the newer TVs, though, I mean, you get a dead pixel, and then what? How do you fix that?
You just throw it away and get a new one. The new one, you could just go get another one. The CRT monitors, I wish I could go down to the store and get a new one. Like, you're going to be paying lots of money for an old one.
I was saying back when CRTs were a thing, though.
Yeah.
No, it's I turned down CRTs because, like hell, I'm gonna go around lifting that and moving that around.
No, yeah, the old arcades are super heavy, but I don't know if you're into the hobby. There's a lot out of it that you can get. Nothing quite like these CRT monitors, the bubble that it provides, and they're a weird resolution too. Like all the LEDs that you get these days, they're widescreen, right? The old ones used to be full screen. They used to be a square-ish compared to the rectangle
the
that you get now.
4x3.
And you can't replicate that. You can't. There's nobody who makes that for LEDs.
Yeah, but it's old technology, so it could probably be I don't know. It could probably be made. You just got to find someone who's willing to do it, AC.
See, there's a lot of money to be made in the industry of like people who are very passionate about arcades. Nobody's doing it, and I think it's a lost technology. I think whoever, you know, perfected that and did that is just not around anymore, and you kind of have to relearn it all over again.
But all you got to do is find
the CRTs. The CRTs.
All you got to do is find one that's working and copy the technology. It's not. It's something you can lose, right? That's not something you can lose.
You may say that, but try finding a new CRT monitor that's made today. You can't. They don't make them. Nobody does. They make everything else. You can find.
No, actually, I do think they still make CRTs.
No, I've been looking for ages.
Let's see.
Infinity Blacks, zero latency, unlocked resolution, variable refresh rate. CRT was better in terms of performance. Still are. It's completely different technology, though. You're never going to get like the
cathode ray tube. It's a vacuum tube. Oh, it's vacuum tubes. Yeah, people don't make that stuff anymore, dude.
I know, dude. I still, when a monitor goes out for me and I can't fix it anymore and I send it in to be repaired and they're just like, we can't figure out what's wrong with it, I have to buy a used CRT monitor. I have to buy somebody's, you know, arcade that, you know, went through a flood in the CRT.
Here's a Dell. Can you use Dell monitors?
You can't use a CRT that was made for a TV for the arcade. They use different, I think it's like power supplies or something like that, and they're just not compatible.
For arcade.
Well, it's also different inputs, outputs.
Well, here's one you can buy for $350. AC.
Yeah, no, I mean they sell the used ones. They sell the old ones that people, like I said, have either, you know, maybe the cabinet doesn't work anymore, the board was cracked, a fire happened, and the CRT was saved, but the rest of it couldn't be, a flood, whatever.
Here's one for $45, dude, for a 19-inch LCD arcade game monitor.
LCD or LED? CRT is.
It says LCD. Oh, so it says LCD arcade game monitor. So.
Yeah, I see. I hear a lot of mobs coming out. So.
Wait, how many inches? How many inches are yours supposed to be? Because there's 27, 29 CRT.
Completely different size depending on the game you're playing. So like Mortal Kombat, I think was a 28-inch, and then you have games like Space Invaders, which was like a 16-inch one.
If this is what you're talking about, because I have no clue. I mean, you take them apart and work on them, so you know a lot more about it than I do.
I mean, the amount I know about them, it pales in comparison to other people out there.
All right, I put it in blue chat. I don't know why I put it in blue chat, but I put it in blue chat.
So I basically the reason why I say like it's easier to repair. My grandfather built a TV.
Right.
So I mean, like,
but he built it with technology that was around back then. Now trying to find those pieces instead of, you can't like go down to Radio Shack and be like, hey, can you get me a couple transistors and these components.
But when you look at the circuitry and the mechanics, like there's worlds of difference.
There is, and they seem simple until you try to find them, and then you're just like, wow, really? Like,
oh no, yeah, to actually how the complexity in the technologies was way simpler back then than it is now. The availability, I mean, it's just easier. It's just easier and cheaper to just buy a new one at that point. Is the thing.
I think
they can't vacuum tubes, man. Come on.
I'm not saying that they can't. I'm saying that they don't.
They won't.
And for whatever reason,
like, no.
I'm just saying they don't. I don't know why. If it's just a supply problem, nobody knows how they work, nobody cares. There's money to be made because a lot of those CRT monitors, like I said, they're going for $500, $600, $700.
Now, I thought there was a fairly large community of people who were like you were buying and refurbishing old arcade games. Are you sure that there's no people making this vacuum tube technology?
There's people making the new side art. There's people making the new controllers. There's some amazing joysticks that you can get that have like the 360 movement so that you can play like the one game it's actually designed to use that on. You can change it from a two-way to a four-way to an 8-way on the controller with a click of a button so that you can have multiple games in the same cabinet. They have a better feel to them. They last longer. Like, they've made all these improvements for all the other ones, and they still make the old ones in case you want them. When it comes to the CRTs, you ain't finding the old ones. They do not make them.
Yeah, I just did a search, and yeah, you're right. Like, it seems like all the little Chinese factories I thought still made them pretty much fun to give up.
Yeah. So
personally, would love to see arcade games come back.
They are?
Especially the old ones. I'd love to walk into an arcade and. No, I'm talking about like. Well, I guess if they wanted to put the old games into new technology, as long as they worked right, I wouldn't have a problem with that.
See, you say that, but certain games like Duck Hunt that you just mentioned, or for me, Area 51 was like the one I enjoy. Like, I loved Area 51.
Right.
You can't.
And you're telling me they can't use new technology to make that same thing.
You can't get that pinpoint accuracy that you could have got with the CRT with the old controller. I'm telling you, man, it's you can't do it. The only thing they have is that sensor bar. Just trying to explain it to you. I've tried it, dude, because I didn't want to buy a giant CRT monitor for my thing and spend $600-700 for.
Dude, we have a new shooter game. We have a new horror game at the movie theater, and that motherfucker performs like, better than any shooting game I've ever played, even Area 51. I mean, it's and that's a brand new arcade game.
But that game was designed for it.
Right, exactly.
I think the thing that he's saying though is, I mean, some technologies don't work with. Some of the older technologies don't work well with newer technologies.
Or at all.
Like the light guns.
So you can't take,
exactly.
Okay,
like the light guns from before just don't work outside of CRTs due to whatever weirdness. I'm probably just gonna Google that in a moment.
Right. Maybe you understand it more than I do, but
what I was saying is just take the old Area 51 game and port it into a new console, into a new unit.
Now you can create an emulator for it, and a lot of the emulators work just as well as the original game, but a lot of the emulators don't. So if you
have the technology to do that, so I don't understand why it would be an issue for people to
some extent. Like, look up Donkey Kong, for example. That's a famous emulator. The sound is an issue for a lot of the ports over, and it loads the screen differently, and the gameplay is slightly different, even though that it was ripped.
So what you're telling me is you would have to make Donkey Kong all over again.
And even if you did, even if you did make Donkey Kong, it would be slightly different from the original, because you're never gonna get that.
You're never gonna be able to replicate that old technology.
Not perfectly.
Not
100%.
Well, that makes sense.
So it's just a little weird. I mean, it's an outdated technology. Most people don't care. And if you grew up playing arcades, you're probably okay with just remembering them. But if you happen to
there's an arcade over in Asheville, dude, that has a ton of old games, dude. I mean, a ton of them. And every time I go over there, the only reason we don't go there very often is because they only serve beer and they do not serve liquor, which they were trying to change that the last time I was over there. But I love going to that place. For $10, you can play old arcade games all night. And I need to go over there by myself, or go over there more often because I just love it. I mean, it's all these old games: Street Fighter 1, Mortal Kombat, all these old games that somebody's obviously lovingly fixed up or found a machine that was in really good working order, and it's just amazing. And you can play them as much as you want to because you just press the 1-up button and you've got a free life.
Right,
so
it's
just
free
really,
play.
really cool.
They say
Yeah,
free
it's just
play.
really cool. Yeah. So.
There's a spot like that in LA, Los Angeles, that does the same thing. It's a brewery that has all the old games, plus a pool table and everything.
Yeah, we got that in Houston. Basically, there's a bar connected to an arcade, and you go in and you basically pay $20. You get as much. Basically, the arcade's free, and you drink and play games.
Yeah, it's really fun. I just need to. The only problem with going by myself is I would have to get a hotel room and stay overnight because I'm not driving. I'm not driving after I drink. That's not. Yeah, that's not responsible at all.
Yeah, I mean,
I've only done it once, and I got so drunk that I could not keep my car on my side of the road. When I got home, I was terrified. I woke up the next day. It still makes me, I still have anxiety remembering it because I could not keep my car in my lane of the road. And the only thing that saved my life was that it was 4 o'clock in the morning, 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. And there was nobody else on the road.
You got lucky on that.
I got extremely lucky because I would have hit somebody and not been able to stop myself from hitting someone because it was a wonder I got home at all. But yeah, I guess because I was using up 2 lanes of road, that's the only thing that got me home. So yeah, it was nothing I'll ever do ever again.
Yeah, but as far as the arcades go, they're amazing, dude. It kind of takes you back to your childhood, especially if you got kids of your own. You want to go show them kind of what video gaming was for you, even if it's just a small piece of that, and you can't really ever fully capture that again.
Yeah, how can you not be taken by the magic that is an arcade? I mean, especially if you're a boy, if you're a little boy, it's just one of the most magical places. And, I'm not saying that girls don't appreciate video games. I can only speak from a little boy's perspective because the first time I walked into an arcade, I realized that this was a place that I wanted to spend the rest of my life in. Or come back and visit for the rest of my life.
It was the hangout. It was the hangout. A lot of kids will go to movies at some point. They go on, hang out with their friends at their house or in the front yard and, play games. But going to the arcade, especially if you live down in the South where it's hot, that was just like the place to be. You met with all your other friends there. You saw, pretty much everybody from school there, and you got to play some of the coolest, most entertaining technology that existed at the time. But
yeah, it was all brand new. But it was all brand new, and it was
all social though, man. Like it wasn't like I'm gonna be sitting in my room playing a video game, which there's nothing wrong with that, but there is nothing that can compare to being around people who enjoy
people suck, dude. There's always drama at the arcades.
People are amazing, dude. You got to go where where everybody knows your name, man.
Our cultures have shifted. Dude. Actually, we really never had that big of an arcade scene or anything like that in general. It was interesting when I went to Japan this year, I guess beginning of the year, and their arcades there, they were crowded. Lots of stuff, new stuff, old stuff.
Their arcades are a little different than ours, though. They have some unique ways of having like 2 players go against one another. They're linked together instead of being like side by side. One person sits on one side of the aisle, the other person sitting on the other side of the aisle. And both of you have consoles in front of you that are your own.
They have a variety of them.
Yeah, but I mean,
in Japan, I feel like in Japan, arcades are still relevant too, and not so much here in America. Yeah, not so much here in America. Maybe in certain places, but in Japan, arcades are still very much relevant.
Over here, they have to market properly and they have to build a community properly. So when you look at like the FGC streams on Twitch, you'll see there's like a handful of locations where they're constantly hosting events. and that's pretty much how they get the people in and constantly going and stuff like that. Because outside of that, like, yeah, they can't exist.
Icebox says he remembers going 10 miles to the shopping center on his bike to get to the arcade.
Yep. Go out. I used to have to go out of my way to get to an arcade. Absolutely, I remember that. But you wanted to. That was the highlight of your day. That was what you were. That's what my whole day revolved around. If I was going to the arcade, and probably the few days up before that. Hey, I get to go to the arcade. Hey, mom's gonna let me go to the arcade.
Do some extra chores for some coins.
Yeah, dude. Get like $20 saved up and stuff like that, and then just go. And I remember I used to be good enough at video games for $20 would last me until mom came to golf.
The whole day, yeah.
And sometimes I wouldn't even spend half of that, and half of it would go on food or something like that. Back then, shit, I could eat for like $3 or $4. This was a long time ago. Let's be honest, dude. I'm an old man.
Well, I was just thinking of that statement right there. The part that I missed the most isn't even like the arcades, but the fact that he could ride to any place he wanted to on his bike and not feel like it was super dangerous, right? Like, you can't do that anymore. I used to ride
in a white van.
Used to go everywhere on my bike. I don't see kids do that anymore, and it's not because a lot of them don't want to. I'm sure some of them don't, but it's also because parents are telling them it's not safe, because it's not, dude. You can't go out there like that anymore.
In Texas, you'll die, dude.
I mean, as a kid, you just dealt with it. But the thing is, though, you look at what we had growing up versus what they had growing up.
Well, they got a lot more for sure when it comes to that kind of technology, but they have a little less space. They have a little less freedom.
But the thing is, like, all of the social telecommunications, all that stuff is gone. Or sorry, we never had growing up. Versus they do, so they can.
We had to go out and be social. Yeah, we had to go out and be social.
If I wanted to play Battletoads with my friend, I'd actually have to go over to my friend's house to play Battletoads. Whereas the new Battletoads that came out the other day, it's on my co-op.
Yeah.
So, but as for like going to the little restaurant that's like a mile away or something like that, I don't know.
I don't know very many parents that would let their kids do that by themselves on a bike going across highways to get there. And
cross highways, that was the one thing I couldn't do growing up. But as long as I stayed on the other side of 6, I was okay.
Those places are awesome, but they rarely take care of the machines, so half of them don't work. People are really, really rough when it comes to arcades, and they break really easy. You'd be surprised just how fragile they can actually be. So, do they take care of them? Maybe, maybe not. If they are taking care of them, will you still see them broken a lot of the time? Absolutely. I don't know how many times I've spent months fixing the ones I have, only to turn it on, power it up, have the whole family come over for a holiday, and then at the end of that holiday, half of them don't work. And they weren't kicking them, they weren't, flipping them over, they weren't trying to break them. It's old technology, dude, and you're trying to keep something that was, made 30, 40, 50 years ago alive. It's just going to break. It's just going to break so easy. So I think they have a lot of passion for what they do. I don't think they'd be doing it if they didn't, because they're not going to get rich. They're not going to get rich, showing video games and letting you come out there and play arcade games.
I mean, you might make some money if you're attached to a bar like that. You might actually.
But you're not gonna break in like millions of dollars. You could do something else and make probably more money.
If you own a bar, you're not breaking in millions of dollars either.
True.
Especially if it's pretty well known that you're trying to get a liquor license, because beer just doesn't seem to be enough. So that was the last thing they were talking about. The bartenders were talking about when I was there. So they were definitely seeking a liquor license.
Liquor license is a bit of work.
Is that finicky? Fair enough.
It must be. It must be because.
I was gonna say I don't want to send out the impression that they're so finicky that they can't be used, or that you shouldn't go out there and get one and try to make it work. They take effort, and they are old. So it's like with anything old. If you don't appreciate it, you
gotta have a lot of TLC.
Right, and when you use it, like for somebody who spent all that time fixing it, I'm really careful with it. Right, I treat it with kind of baby and kid gloves and. Make sure I don't.
You don't smack the shit out of it like I did with Mark, you son of a bitch, quit glitching.
Right, and it's just it's one of those things. So it is what it is. But Yeah, I love the arcades. I love the old video game. We actually just started this whole conversation on, like, what our favorite video games were. So if you guys
All
have
right.
video games out there you enjoy, let us know, man.
Favorite arcade game would probably be the X-Men fighting, or the little arcade X-Men game.
I love that. I always loved Wolverine because back then I was like, Wolverine was the shit to me.
Yeah,
Uh,
he
yeah,
had the slash that basically covered the whole screen, right?
yeah. I like
Nightcrawler,
Cyclops too because of his strength and power.
Not a dude.
His
Nightcrawler. He could zap around the map.
Nightcrawler was Nightcrawler was always a wuss.
It was like the Ninja Turtle game. You know, you could be all for the Ninja Turtles.
Actually, I like Nightcrawler because he fought with a sword. I liked him because he fought with a sword, but and I wish I hadn't been into Wolverine so much because everybody and their mother was into Wolverine, and it was like riding the bandwagon. It was like riding the bandwagon, but I couldn't help it. I loved Wolverine. He was just a smart ass. He was an asshole, and he didn't take shit from nobody, and I like that about him.
Yeah, a couple years ago, I basically loaded up MAME and I played all those little arcade fighting games with my wife, and we just had a blast.
Oh, there's some great ones out there. Did you guys try Trog? I would have to say, of all the video games out there, that would probably rank close to my first.
Trog?
Yeah, Trog is a 4-player, like, dinosaur one where you had to collect little eggs. Where the hell are these mobs that are hitting?
No, that reminds me of Turok though. Turok 1 and 2 were awesome video games. I had a lot of fun playing those games. When they were old, was that the Super Nintendo that Turok came out on, or was it Nintendo 64? I can't remember. I think it was 64, but don't quote me.
I think I'm bugged. These guys are... Oh, I'm maybe lagging out. I can't even move. I have been disconnected. There we go. Well, obviously my internet is still working, but we've been disconnected here, guys. Give it a minute. But what were you saying, Thum? Keep going.
Doom.
What about you, Cypher? Did you have a favorite arcade game back in the day? I think maybe we lost Thum on that one.
I don't know. I had a few I really liked. Wow, it looks like everybody got kicked.
You got kicked as well?
Did I?
I don't know. Did you? Can you get in?
No.
So connection to the server could not be reached. Please check your internet connection to make sure you are online. Okay, well, let's load that back up so you can't see my password and screen name, but we're going to see if we can keep getting in here.
Welcome back. Apparently not.
I got kicked, so...
You got kicked as well?
Yeah.
I had to zone. I got that train back from the guys downstairs.
Is anybody able to get in right now?
I'm still on.
Let me make a note of this, 505. I'm allowed it 10 minutes of connection issues, so put that in there.
All right, zoning back in.
Well, I mean, we got 37 hours and 24 minutes so far. Connection to the server could not be reached. I am reading chat right now. I don't know if you guys can hear me. Can they not hear me? Cypher, can you hear me? Slack? Anybody? It looks like I'm getting booted out of Discord now. What the hell? Yeah, even Discord's not working. But you guys on the stream can hear me just fine. Disconnected completely from Discord. What the fuck? Stream is fine. Yeah, so the stream is fine. Discord is not working. I can't get into EverQuest. It's a fucking web pages obviously are working because I'm connected to error 1016. What happened? You requested a page on a website. What the Can you guys connect to any pages out there besides mine? Are we getting hit by some kind of like cyber attack or something? No, YouTube works just fine. Can't log into my bank for some reason. Yeah, it's not letting me into my bank. You're back into EQ, Cypher? All right, well, give me a second. I'm still trying to connect to both Discord and EQ. All right, guys, bear with me if you would, please. And we already beat the record. I was hoping to get to 40 before something crazy like this happened. Yeah, it's not letting me in. Yeah, I keep getting the exact same message. Are you getting that one? I did quit Discord and then reopen it. It still won't let me in. I'll do it again just to be sure. Check the task manager to make sure that it is not up and running somewhere else. Let's close EQ down as well. You see it on the overlay because it's frozen. That's why you don't see anybody else on there. I was the last one talking when it went down. Which, when I'm not talking, it should disappear, and it's not. Yeah, I'm all the way out of EverQuest. Let's see, Discord. Come on, come on. So at least it's making a little symbol on Discord, which I guess is an improvement from where it was before. Let's try EverQuest again. Let's see, P9 name page, it says it's up with 168 players. 168 seems really low. Cool says he's still on, but I cannot get past this stupid little message right here. Yeah, I mean, everything's working fine. I can open up pages, just not the ones I want. Yeah, but why Discord too? Like that's really weird. Cool, says EQ crashed. They did do an update earlier today. You imagine if they you imagine if they reset it again? Like the last 2 days have already been nothing but raids. Now they're gonna possibly have a third day. This is gonna be really horrible. You see, what are you up to in game now? Just got home and down for some groupage. Unfortunately, Sean, EQ just crashed on me. Discord just crashed on me. I can't get back in. It literally just happened. So nothing going on at the moment. May actually have to call the stream here in a few minutes because I only get 10 minutes to figure this out before I have to go to a another game like live EverQuest or something, and I don't have it downloaded, so you're having Discord issues as well. We're so close. I'm not even tired, man. 37 hours and 31 minutes. Exactly, right? Why Discord too? And the fact that some of you guys are having the exact same issues fucking bugging me too, because can't log into my bank, can't log into EverQuest, can't log into Discord. Like, what is the connection between those three? Well, we got 2 more minutes to see if we can get back in before that has to be the end of it. Whether we want it to be or not. Let's try on my phone. I guess I could try on my phone. Nope, I cannot connect to Discord on my phone either. Let's try this one more time, guys, because we are on the last minutes. It also doesn't show anybody online. Yeah. Well, we ran out of time, guys. Ran out of time. That's just the way that one's gonna go, apparently. So close. So close. Let's see. What are we at? 37, 34. Well, guys, those that are watching, I definitely want to thank you for hanging out with us during this marathon stream. We were hoping that we would get to 40. We probably would have gotten to 40 and maybe even a little further. I was thinking of maybe even trying for 50 on this one. But the rules are very clear. If you get booted out of your game, you can try 3 times. And if you can't get into the game, you got to go to your backup game within the first 10 minutes. And the 10 minutes have elapsed. So that is the end. But we did break the record. We did get past the 32 hours and 26 minutes. Let me go back and look. The 32 hours and 36 minutes was the former record. Now we are at 37 hours, and I'll have to do some calculations to figure out exactly how many minutes with the breaks that I took. But there you have it. We won. We beat the record. If you guys found this stream or this video later down the road to be entertaining, let us know. Write something in the comment section. Maybe you will be the next one to break the record. I think this record is made to be broken. It's so small, 37 hours. Not that that is a pitiful amount of time, but when you're talking about MMOs, so much more time goes into these things. So look forward to maybe trying this again in the future, maybe shooting for 55 hours possibly, and keep pushing the limit. Till then, guys, I want to wish you a wonderful night. Don't go anywhere just yet. I'm going to see if anybody else is streaming EQ or something. We'll go ahead and raid their channel and see what they're up to. That is if anybody else is able to load into EQ right now, which doesn't sound like the case. I'm looking at EverQuest videos. They're all on the load screen. Nobody can get in. Okay, I feel a little bit better. I'm not the only one. So we're not going to raid anybody. That's just going to be the end of the stream. That sucks. Well, it was interesting. A big shout out to all the guys and everybody in P99, EverQuest in general, people over on live, those that came from other games to be part of this, that supported it, that gave good vibes and was looking out for me the entire time. Could not have done it without you guys. It was a lot of fun. Really interesting. So then, guys, have a wonderful night or day or evening, depending on where you live. And we'll definitely see you in the future. Peace, guys.